guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jennifer, and today I am sharing my 6 top best tips to help you successfully start a keto diet. So if you want to check those out, just keep watching. Okay, so I'll start off first by saying that this is the second time that I've had to film this. I filmed it once already and I just didn't feel like it flowed correctly. I have like so much information in my brain that I want to tell you guys, but I want it to be informative and cohesive so you guys can understand it. So I've already filmed this once, but I wasn't happy with the way that it turned out, so I am refilming it again. So here we go for take 2. Okay, and to start, in case you are brand new to keto and you're clicking on this video and have no idea where to start or what keto is even about or any of that, it's just the elimination of carbs and sugar so that your body will stop using glucose for fuel and use ketones instead. When your body eliminates sugar, glucose, your liver will start converting fat into ketones, and that's what your body will use for fuel instead of glucose. So it is a high-fat, low-carb diet, moderate protein. There are ranges all in between, and depending on who you listen to, they can change. But that is just a very basic, brief synopsis of what a keto lifestyle is. Okay, so my first tip for starting a keto diet is to absolutely keep it simple. Try to stick to 1 ingredient whole foods: chicken, steak, broccoli, cauliflower, not potatoes or rice like that. You want to do low carb, but just 1 ingredient whole foods, just in the beginning, because you can overcomplicate things in the beginning, and there's so much out there from so many different people, just information everywhere, which I highly recommend researching and educating yourself on the diet as a whole. But just a lot of the keto sweets and keto snacks and a lot of the processed stuff they have now, and breads and pastas, alternatives for stuff that you're trying to come off of. And a lot of times that can be super borderline tricky for people because you just switch to artificial sweeteners and then that just makes you crave more. And when you're coming off, especially if you're coming off the standard American diet and you're trying to detox those carbs and sugar and just break the sugar addiction, then feeding it with artificial sweeteners will light up that same part of your brain and you'll be wanting those. So it might be harder in the beginning, but it will set you up for success in the long run. So I highly recommend just kind of staying away from that stuff. The first 30 days or so, just try to stick to whole foods that are 1 ingredient. And then you can kind of research and venture off as you feel like you get familiar with the diet and that you think like you have a handle on it. You know yourself better than anybody. So you'll know when you feel like that you can handle keto sweets or whatever, but you can overeat on healthy stuff too. So just keep that in the back of your mind and proceed with caution, I guess is the best way to say it. If you feel like you can have those things right from the start and be successful and do it, then absolutely go for it. Everybody's different. Not everybody's going to work the same. But in my opinion, you can just overcomplicate stuff and get very overwhelmed right from the beginning. And sometimes that will throw people off track also. Or you just kind of like that same thing that keeps making you want more and more and more sweets. So I just say proceed with caution and just try to stick to 1 ingredient whole foods and keep it simple. And I think that that will definitely set you up for success. All right, and for tip 2, I suggest cleaning out your home. Your pantry, your cabinets, your fridge, your freezer, any of that stuff that has any carbs or snacks, sugary, sweet treats or whatever, that when your willpower's down or you're not feeling good in the beginning and you're really craving one of those things, that you'll just grab if it's right in front of you. If you just get it out of the way right in the beginning. If you have a family that isn't doing keto, then you'll have to get a little creative and strategic about that because they may have snacks there that you're not eating, but you're definitely going to have to exercise some discipline, but try to keep them out of sight and out of mind. So that way when those moments hit and you're either starving and you don't have anything prepped or prepared in that moment, or your willpower's down at night, that seems to be harder for people. That's when we want to snack and crave sweets and all of that. So if you just don't have them in front of you, then you're not triggered and want to eat them. So that's my second tip that I highly recommend, is to clean everything out in your house before you start. And tip number 3 is to meal plan and prepare. So that you aren't triggered and want to eat all those snacks that potentially you have in the house, or your family or whoever, if they are not doing keto, you might have those things in your house. And so you don't want to get caught off guard and all of a sudden you're starving and you just want to grab anything because you don't have anything prepared. I highly, highly recommend, especially in the beginning, to try to meal prep if you can, an hour a week just to like set up some stuff that you'll have through the week that you can grab at lunchtime or for snacks or whatever. You know the old saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You've probably heard that a million times, and because it's true. If you don't plan, you are going to mess up when the time comes. So I suggest having stuff prepped and prepared. You can go online and find a million meal prep videos. I have some, I'll link them down below. And it doesn't have to be super complicated and like massive crazy meal preps. You can prep a few things that will get you through the week so that when you're hungry, you already have something ready in the fridge to go. So that is tip number 3, and I highly, highly recommend it to be successful on any weight loss journey, but especially on keto. Okay, so tip number 4 is to make sure that you keep up on your electrolytes. You definitely want to keep up your salt intake. I always did bone broth. I drank bone broth every single day. I still drink bone broth collagen every single day. So that really helped with electrolytes. I never really had the keto flu, which I wasn't coming from a standard American diet. I was doing some sort of a paleo, like healthy diet before I started keto. So I didn't have like a crazy keto flu. I lacked energy a little bit, you know, just from coming off regular carbs, but it wasn't anything crazy like I've seen other people have to go through. But I definitely recommend keeping your electrolytes up, your salt intake, just so you'll have better sleep, better energy, all of this stuff. And there are a ton of electrolyte supplements out on the market. You can do your own research about that. I just always did bone broth and it worked for me. Plus it's awesome for gut health and bone health, hair, skin, nails. I do a bone broth collagen, so it's awesome for all that stuff. So why not take it? So definitely keep up on your electrolytes. And tip number 5 to successfully start a keto diet is to track your macros. This is controversial because some people love it, some hate it. But in my opinion, you should do it for at least the first 30 days. After that, I don't track now. I don't want to have to punch my food in every single time I eat. That's just not sustainable for me. But in the beginning, I feel like it is super important, especially if you're not educated on macros and how to read nutrition labels and what carbs are in what. Like, I had no clue when I first started. So I used Carb Manager. I still do every once in a while if I just want to kind of see what carbs are in something, or if I just want to see like how I'm doing for a couple days, then I'll track. But I don't track every single day. But I did in the beginning, and it just helped me get familiar with foods and nutrition labels and macros and where I was supposed to be at, because everybody's macros are going to be a little different. So you can plug it in and it'll tell you what your fat should be, what your protein should be, and what your carbs should be. In the beginning, I wouldn't worry about anything but keeping your carbs low. And that's different for everybody, but normally under 20 or 30 net carbs, which will keep you in or put you into ketosis. So I definitely recommend tracking, at least in the beginning, just till you get familiar with everything. And then after that, if you like tracking, stick with it. And if you don't, then don't. I haven't tracked in 8 or 9 months, not like I did in the beginning, and I still have had success on keto. So that's completely up to you, but I do recommend doing it in the beginning. Okay, and for tip number 6, I definitely recommend taking pictures and measurements. I know everybody wants to get on the scale like every single day and see about their weight, and I'm guilty of that too. But a lot of times I find on keto that the scale doesn't reflect what's actually going on in your body. So definitely take pictures and measurements, because you will notice down the road that your clothes are fitting different, or you'll look at a side-by-side picture and be like, holy moly, I didn't even realize that I'm that much smaller, or whatever. So definitely take pictures and measurements. And when you get those non-scale victories, those little wins, it will build momentum. And as you build momentum and get results, that will fire you up to keep you going. That's just how we work as humans. So I highly recommend taking pictures and measurements, and you will thank yourself a year down the road. When you look at your beginning picture and then a picture 10 months, 11 months, however long down the road, and put them side by side, you'll be blown away. And I feel like that tells more than the scale does. Of course, you're going to weigh yourself in the beginning just to get a baseline number so that you have a goal that you can set on where you want to get to be healthy. But weighing yourself every day can definitely mess with your mind. So I just highly suggest taking pictures and measurements as much as you can throughout your health journey. All right, guys, so that did it for these 6 tips. I will say, just to end, that going on a weight loss journey is all about your mindset. So you can follow all the different tips and tricks that people say, but Everything is won or lost up here in our lives, period. So you have to get it in your mind what you want and why you want it. And remind yourself along the way as much as you can why you're doing this. And everybody has a reason why they set out on a health journey. So make sure that you remember that why when you're feeling down and you want to throw in the towel. Just remind yourself as much as possible why you're doing this. And remember that discipline is a muscle. You have to use it over and over and over and over till you get stronger and stronger. And then it becomes easier to say no to the cake and the pizza. And not that you can never have those things. I believe everything with balance. Some people don't want to ever cheat or have any kind of meals that aren't keto, and that's up to them. But I say you do what works for you, what is going to make this lifestyle sustainable for you, because in the end, that's what wins. It has to be sustainable over a long term to be healthy for you. It's not just about weight loss. I know a lot of us just jump into it for that. It started out for me about weight loss. But as you get into it a little more and a little more and a little more, it becomes an overall health thing. That's been my experience. But either way, it is all a mindset. So just remember that and try to keep your head in the game. And if you fall off, give yourself some grace and just try again the next day. But if you use these tips in the beginning, I definitely think that it will help you be successful on your keto journey. I hope you guys got some information from this video, and I hope that it helped you out. And if it did, make sure to give me a thumbs up. That definitely helps me out. And if any of you guys are on keto or have already been on keto and you have any tips that I didn't suggest, definitely put them down in the comments below so that everybody else can benefit from them as well. And I would love to hear your guys' tips or things that helped you on your journey, because everybody's journey looks a little bit different. So yours isn't going to look exactly like somebody else's, and that's okay. So what works for one may not work for another, and that's okay. Just as you keep learning and growing along the way. That's the whole point, right? And also, if you aren't following me on Instagram, make sure to follow me over there at InWithJen. I'll pop it on the screen somewhere, and I always have it linked down below. I always am posting my meals and workouts and just a ton of stuff over on Instagram. So if you need some more motivation, check me out over there. And I have a ton of videos here on the channel too that can help you out with different foods and meal prep and meal planning and all that good fun stuff. So definitely make sure that you check those out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new here, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, so whenever I have new videos come out, they will notify you. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye.